Oasis in the east. This afternoon's first matchup has the Victorian state side taking on Western Australia. Interesting matchup here. Victoria, one of the regular contenders in the box competition. Western Australia in their first competition in several decades. Be interesting to see how they show up against a side who played in the final last year and were upset by South Australia in the grand final. And then it'll be interesting to see again going forward, will WA and SA or WA Victoria lead to some interesting matchups as we go through. Lone 2015 indoor national team member on the WA side is Lucas Wood. So few WA fellas in contention for the 2019 side, but Wood was the only member of the last national side. Victoria boasting quite a few 2015 players and a number of players looking to make a run for the 2019 side. Also, the Victorian box lacrosse competition a little bit more regular than the WA one, so we'll see how WA match up. We know they've got a deep, talented side of field players, but how will they do in the box against the Victorians, who have a little bit more exposure to the indoor game than their cousins from the west? Game time is almost upon us. And it'll be an interesting one. It'll be a good hit out. These two teams, or these two states, meet regularly in finals and through tournaments in the outdoor version of the sport. Many of these players doubling up playing in this team as well. So can WA get vengeance for their grand final loss in the national field competition from this year? Or will Victoria make it their own and look to get things rolling with a good win in the first one? Again, for those of you checking in for the first time today who weren't with us on the first game, just a few key differences between indoor box lacrosse and field lacrosse. Obviously, much smaller playing area. Teams only have 6 players on the field at any time. That's 5 field players and a goalie. And big difference there is just the area of play. It's a lot more confined, little space to hide, and players are going to be more under the pump than they would otherwise be in the field counterpart. The 30-second shot clock is a big factor. We saw in the game earlier, very back and forward. There were both goalies would have been well over 50% for saves, I would imagine, and we still saw a 19-5 scoreline. So there's a lot of shots going off, and we're going to see a lot of saves, a lot of big defensive plays, but a lot of fast, high-paced offense. So 30 seconds after possession is maintained, teams have 10 seconds to cross the midline. For those of you who have watched a bit of the NLL, National Lacrosse League, that's the professional indoor league in North America, they play an 8-second clearing clock. It's 10 seconds in the FIL rules, so that's what we're doing here. And be ready for that as well. We saw it come into play quite a few times in the first game this morning. New South Wales having some issues getting timely clears on a number of plays. Umpires just confirming some things there. And again, over and back rules, another factor. So you've got to remember, like in basketball, once the ball's cleared, cannot come back over, or else the other team will get the ball. And it's very much where it happens is where you get it situation in this. So if there's a shot clock violation at the midline, that's where the ball will be taken by the opponent. If it's in the back corner, that's where they'll get it. So the advantage of staying aware of the game clock, staying aware of the shot clock is a big one in this game, and it'll pay dividends for a team that can be smart about that. The other big factor is penalties. Obviously, penalty rules are a bit different, more similar to the women's game than the men's game of the field version. 2 minutes is a minor penalty, and major fouls will score a player 10 minutes man down. So it's a big factor in a game where only 5 offensive or defensive players are on the court at any one time. Lose one of them or lose 2 of them. We did see one double power play in the first game earlier, and it can be a big factor for the teams out there. Teams just having their final chat. Umpires blow the whistle. We've got 1 minute left, and we're going to be underway. Again, big trip here for the West Australians. 4-hour flight and about a 2-hour drive at least. But they look ready and raring to go. They're looking pretty sharp in their warm-up. And again, as we've said, as we were talking about in the first game, expect these West Australians to be great players. They're good in the field game. We've seen them play a number of national representatives at the under-19, ASPAC, and senior levels.
I'm going off you, Jess.
And
I'm going off you.
But we'll see how they adapt to the box game. The Victorians, a number of players with national indoor experience. And then
I'm just saying I'm going to go off
some players who haven't maybe had the national state representation in the field version, but look primed for the box game.
The last call is the benches, and I can't see all the gates from bench side.
Go off them.
So, yeah.
Yep.
It's easier. You're happy with that?
I don't mind. Sorry? Yes, you do.
Have to step
I have to go in the box, yeah. Let's go, guys. Blue's going that way. Gold's going that way.
All right, and umpires just letting everyone know which direction they'll be throwing the ball. WA to screen right starting off, and the Victorians down to screen the left defensively.
Tim, happy to be back for game 2.
Absolutely, good to have you with us, Ryan. Obviously, you're a foreign WA type, and me being a local Victorian, we can
keep this biased conversation going.
Yeah, some healthy ribbing. All right, Ryan, what are you excited to see from your stateside compatriots?
Basically, just potential. It's an unknown what's going to happen in the next
Down you go.
hour or so. So I'm excited to see what WA can bring to the table.
Absolutely, Nathan Bell wins that one comfortably, but it's flicked to Lucas Wood, as I said before the game, the lone national player from the last World Cup for WA. Simpson with the ball now on the near side. Back to Simpson, onto Bidwell Barton.
Ryan Hockey rips a shot, that's up top high, nice save.
Hockey on the member of the last under-19 Australian side. Caleb Hall now with the ball. As we said earlier, Caleb was a selection for the 2015 World Games President's team. So that's the non-Blue Division version of the all-world side. So outside of the top 6 teams, he was considered one of the best on the planet at what he does. He's been guarded there by Brock Beale. That'll be an over and back there. The ball was loose.
Some good contact there from Caleb Hall, setting the tone early.
That's hard.
Caleb Hall picking up where he left off in the Field World Games in Israel.
I had first-hand experience watching Caleb go to work, and it is brutal. He's always doing it with a smile on his face, though, which is very off-putting.
The smiling assassin. It's he's an unscrupulous guy. WA with the ball now. Coming across the top, Matt Devoy with the ball, sends it down to Panting. Hockey shot saved there. Ball's back with Hockey now onto Wood. Devoy now with it. Hockey again looking for that time and room shot. Little skip pass to Simpson there.
WA playing it quite wide, aren't they? Trying to spread the field.
They really are, and I think that's going to be a big factor. Again, outside shots aren't what you're looking for in this game as Devoy drives to the cage. Couldn't get that one to go, but WA are going to have to be very wary of the spacing in this game.
I'm not sure if you felt it early, but there's a certain tone to this game. There's already been some physical contact near the boards on both sides.
Absolutely, and I think that's a factor we'll see is the rivalry between these two states who would both consider themselves the elite in the nation on the field, and many of these players have been playing against each other in field lacrosse for years now, both at a junior and senior level. Those rivalries aren't going to be left at the door. They're coming into the court with them, and expect a physical game from both of these sides.
1-8. 1-8.
So we're just hearing audio from our head ref. We've got 1-8 in for a penalty here. We'll listen to the call.
We're taking the in home. It's blue 1-8 for a hold. 2 minutes.
There we go. So a hold. Not such a big factor in the field version. That's a 2-minute penalty there for Tyler Reynolds, the in-home player from Victoria. So we're going to see the first power play of the day with WA going up.
You guys have a 2-3.
Panting to Wood, Panting with it again up top. Devoy thought about the step down, decided against it. Panting getting close now, but a save. And again, WA staying fairly wide. Victoria weren't even coming out and making contact on a lot of those possessions. Ball there to Devoy. Thought that was deflected down. It was the bounce pass though. All good. He's been guarded there by McKenzie from Victoria. Simon Fleet with it, sends it onto Panting. Wood now with it again, Hockey down low.
Good rip, great save.
Another time and room shot, and again, just maybe a little bit too much range on some of these shots. I think the WA players settling for a shot, which would be a great shot in the field version of the game, but maybe just stretching it a little bit too far. Keith Nyberg with the ball now, gets it to Parsons, Quintiao. On to Mentorplay. Balls now with Brody Black. Gets up behind, looking for a sub there. Shot clock penalty is the call, as the Vics look to get their defensive unit subbed in, as Brock Beale brings the ball up court for the WA fellas. Fleet with it now.
So, Tim, do you see a lot of on-field leadership from guys calling sets like you would in the field game?
Absolutely, and it's, if anything, it may be more fast and furious. I think in the field game you'll see big calls, and then you sort of hold the ball back out, let everyone get set, whereas in this, it's all just constant hustle, constantly on the fly from players. And on-court communication, due to the pace of play, can almost be more important in this level. Call overruled there. It was touched as it was heading out, so what would have been a Victorian ball is now a WA ball again. They've got possession down low. Devoy with it, sends it on to Panting. We're all even again. Steps around, shot off the back pipe there. Ball's up high, and that's going to be WA ball again. Ball in the back corner there. Matt Devoy chasing that down.
You can probably put Ryan Hockey down to at least 6 shots so far.
Ryan Hockey's having a hell of a time so far. He's feeling the love, and he's having a blast. Hasn't hit the back of the net yet.
Absolute license to let him go, at least.
My word, is he having fun. And it's good to see. I think the WA players are not holding anything back. They're not being tentative. They're not, looking to take a back seat due to their, potential lack of experience in the box game. They've come to play. If they've got possession, they're going to make things happen and look for these plays.
Let's see if this momentum can keep up all game.
Panting.
We know the Victorians are very experienced.
Panting getting put to work on that one. Victorian ball in the end, though. Bringing it up court now is Aaron Aldred. Gets it off to Peter Quass. Quass was the youngest member of the 2015 indoor side. Still eligible for the under-19s at the time he made it, maybe 17 or 18, I believe. Then went and had some playing time at Onondaga Community College, now back home. Well, in Mo. Ball's there with Quass. Sends it down. Caleb Hall with the ball. Got a lot of pressure on him, but not bothering him. Inside there. Sweeping across the top. Meant to play. Couldn't get it on. Ball a bit high. Outside shot from Hall.
That's a save by Aaron Mackner. In goal for Western Australia.
Goal. Meant to play there. Just too much room on the crease for Dan. Meant to play. The WA players, 2 of them, just took a little bit of a step off him. You'll see in the replay, he snuck across, and I think the defense were looking to shift onto Ball's side. Look at him there, he just wanders to the front. He's got plenty of room on both sides, almost a backdoor cut. But again, just too much space for Meant to play on the crease there. And he puts the ball away for the first score of the game. Victoria leading 1-0 over WA. Aldred taking the face there against Panting. Reynolds comes up with it, put it into the wall there. That was Fleet there. Ball's now with Hall again. Bit of a stutter step of a dodge there. Parsons Quintiao launches it. The time and room elevator shot there, but you missed the goal, which is the key. Ball's with Simpson now on the near side, gets it onto Devoy. Devoy, another player with a bit of college experience, was at Mount Olive College in North Carolina. Great place to attend school.
Yourself, Tim, how many years were you at Mount Olive?
I was there for 4 years. I think he was just there for 1, and we didn't cross paths. But, it's nice to know he warmed the place up for me. Shot clock on that one, picked up by Panting.
Able to corral his own rebound there. Reset the shot clock.
Braden Panting, great physical player. Seeing him on the under-19 national side in 2016 was like watching a man amongst children. He just played good, smart, physical lacrosse, and he's clearly not lost any of that in the 2 years since. As he steps down, looking to wrap around there, couldn't quite get the shot on. Untouched on the way by, and it's going to be Victorian ball again.
I know it's only early days here, but Lucas Wood's been just a little quiet. Was able to get a little possession there and create a good feed and opportunity for Panting.
I think it may almost be a good thing, actually. I think if we see WA defer too much to Lucas Wood with his extra box experience, he may be a player that's able to be locked off, whereas if they keep sharing the work around, Wood can use his leadership and he can get the important touches when he needs them, but if they don't look to work through him too much, it may make them harder to defend overall.
So
Simpson
we see
with the ball now.
making a save there, coming out and bulldozing a little path there.
WA with the ball again, Fleet with it, up to Devoy. Thinking about the step down, pulling high again now, ball's up with Panting. Drops the shoulder, but it's shot clock again.
Going blue, guys.
We may have a minor foul on this one, so I believe the shot coming after the shot clock will have been taken as a delay of game on that one, so that we may see a 2-minute power play here, I believe.
$16, unsportsmanlike. 2
there we
minutes.
go, unsportsmanlike. So that's the shot after the shot clock had gone there. Caleb Hall with the ball now for Victoria. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Victoria leading 2-0. Oh, 1-0, sorry. On the power play now. Got to watch out for the over and back here. Can Hall keep it in play? Not quite. And it's going to be WA ball.
Big let up there.
Back in now, and Victoria with the extra man defensively. We'll see how aggressively they play. At the moment, just holding in close. Number 19, Jai Aaron Batts as the spare player. He's just floating around in the middle now. Maybe just WA playing very wide. It may be that they're just not willing to push out quite as far as WA are staying out. And just looking to more to cover the inside on those. Wood being held up there by Hall. Shot clock violation on that one. Bit of a miscommunication there. Victoria looking to sub 2 players, and it was just a delayed sub. So the shot clock meant that it wasn't a factor. But again, Victoria just need to watch the communication on that one, as you've got players coming in at one end of the box and leaving at the other. Don't want to allow players to be short-handed on the field.
Peter Quast, big outside rip. Magnus sitting on that one.
One factor you'll see with these goalkeepers, similar to ice hockey, is you have no feel on it. You could fall on the ball, and if it's under a pad, you'd have no idea what's going on down there, which is a big factor as the screen is shaking in front of us. A few things being knocked over, but WA with the ball. We're still all good here.
I don't know for the viewers at home, apologies about that bottom left corner. We just can't see past that pipe, but WA frustratingly playing a lot of game out there at the moment.
If they played a more confined game would be fine, but they're keeping it very wide in that bottom corner.
Big pass midfield.
Meant to play under pressure from 2 there. Ball's going to the board. Parsons Quinty out, puts the body on the line. Goes after Panting. Beale can't get a handle on it. Oh, Allen, sorry, can't get a handle on it. Ball's with Garrett Moser. He's taken down but passed on.
Good job. Lucas, well done. Well done.
Too many men will be the call there.
2-7 yellow.
So WA on that one have been called for too many men on the course.
You got to take it up the half.
And we're going to have another power play for the Victorians. 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first. Dan meant to play will start with the ball on the near side. Quaston Hall on the near side. On the far side, we've got Black and Ratchie. Black with a step down, looking for the pass through the lane there to Quast. Couldn't find him.
And is that a patented Stu Bentley
There you go, ring it out.
catch out of midair?
Take it out.
I think, Bentley showed his worth in the Field World Cup this summer with, the Northern Hemisphere summer.
Saving my bacon on one
With
shot.
a number of short stick saves. You know, just showing good moonlight as a goalie if he needed to. Shot clock reset after that one. Vic back with the ball, down low to Quast. Quast the
Beautiful
cut to Bentley
cut
and finds the target. Almost the inverse of what we saw with South Australian man-up plays. They were looking to either sweep across the top, getting that step-down shot,
I got it
or
now.
find that pass from top corner to bottom corner to hit the shot on the crease. That was almost the opposite there. We saw Quast with the ball on the crease, send it straight back up to Black, who was cutting through. Black unopposed as he took his shot.
Shout out to all those watching online. We appreciate your support. Comment where you're viewing from.
Ball's with Hall now. Ratchie has it. Parsons Quintiao now, the youngster from Footscray. Up top, the time and room shot. Couldn't get it to go, but it'll reset the shot clock.
Play it back to him.
It's a face off the look, it's not even on.
You batted it back.
There we go. So that was goalie there, batting the ball back to the back wall to save it from the Victorian. So the ball's going to go back to the Vics there. Goalie unable to do that. Ratchie sends it up top. Couldn't get the handle, though, for Caleb Hall. Gets his rebound. Sweeping across the top now inside to Quast. Couldn't get it to go, but the shot clock is reset. Ball's free. WA looking to clear. Haven't got a clean possession yet. Ratchie comes up with it. Ratchie just bulldozes his man. Having had Tim Ratchie run into me myself while trying to clear a ball, I can tell you the man is like a red-bearded brick wall. He's strong in all sorts of ways. So good physical play there from number 7 from Victoria. Ball there taken by Muxlow off the rebound. Lucas Wood now with it. WA subs just maybe a little bit lax at the moment.
Simpson finds himself in trouble in that back corner. Ball turned over back to Victoria.
Absolutely, and shot clock there. So Victoria on the break. Aaron Aldred with the ball. He's got players up court of him.
We did hear a whistle. We'll head down to our head referee mic'd up.
What was the hooter for?
When we got the ball, inadvertent whistle.
Yeah.
Inadvertent whistle, blue ball.
Yeah, it's blue ball.
There we go. So shot clock went off, but play had already gone to the Victorians. So the whistle was slightly late there. Head ref just confirming. He was thinking the whistle was meant to stop the Victorian play. They were right to have the ball, though. So back with the Victorians, new shot clock on, and we're back in play. Quast with it now, short time, left to play, 15 now.
Save, Maxwell.
Closing on 10, we've got a save, and it's a renewed shot clock. Goalie with the ball now. Just needs to get it out to safety, 5 seconds. WA clearing it up. Ball's with the Vics. Can they get back over in time? No. Ratchie there will end that first quarter with the ball in his stick. And the scores 2-0 Victoria's way, as WA have had a lot of possession, done a good job getting the ball out of the middle and a number of shots, but possibly just stretching it a little bit too far. Not enough play inside. and not enough scoring threats yet.
I don't know.
Absolutely, Tim. And I think you'll find the tempo in the first quarter has just been so high. It's going to settle down, and I think you'll see Victoria just get into their groove and sort of chip away at these goals. We need Western Australia to probably work that inside game a little stronger.
Absolutely, and I think some of it is almost just looking for the risks. I think WA are being maybe a little bit too safe with the ball, so they're moving it well and they're playing aggressively, but they're not risking the passes you need. I think they're not going to get players open enough on the crease that they'll be able to step back and lob a ball in. They're going to have to be working inside there to get those possessions on the crease so they can get those in-close shots. So we'll see if they make adjustments. And before we bring you the second quarter, we'll bring you a couple of replays.
Oh, 42. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, so he's good. Fucking hell.
So that one we just saw shot up top from the Victorians. Ball disappeared out of your screen quickly, but then we saw Mentor play. So that was one where he sort of just walked to the crease. I think two defenders thought the other guy had him. Neither of them did, and that was just an easy little one inside there. So we'll see on the second one now. We've had Caleb Hall up top.
It's 4.5 to 7.5.
Mentor play, sends it low to Quas, and he found Black cutting to the crease. Again, I think on that one, that bottom corner was just stretched a little bit wide. You saw the WA player hedging over to cover that. Black snuck top side, and Quas found him for that quick cut through for the goal.
No, I'm not done.
Goal scorers so far, and it's been Brody Black and Dan Mentor play with one goal apiece, and we've had a few penalties already for WA, letting Victoria go on the power play early on. We're just under a minute from second quarter action, and as Ryan was saying, comment where you're from and where you're watching from, but also comment, maybe predict some scores. Who are you watching for? Have you got a local hero, or are you just checking out the game because you've got not much else to do on your Saturday?
I decided the guy.
Quick shout out to our fans on Facebook. We've got Jeff Joy tuning in. G'day, mate. Canadian Lacrosse League. Aaron Salter all the way from New York. Chris Fox from Vancouver. We appreciate all you guys tuning in, supporting the Australian Lacrosse Network.
Heading back out now, sides will swap ends. And again, expect to see more fast-paced play, but the teams may be able to settle into their rhythm a little bit more than they did in the first quarter. I think first quarter was a little bit of run and gun, maybe a little bit of rope-a-dope action. See what the other team wanted to throw at them, and then see what you had to do in response. So we'll see how they adjust now. But again, expect more fast-paced lacrosse. Fleet and Bell there. Bell couldn't get it. Caleb Hall could, though. Somehow pulled the ball out of nowhere, and Garrett Moser now with the ball. Ratchie gets it. Heading over to some prime real estate in that bottom corner that we can't quite see because of the bar. He rolls inside, gets the ball across to Parsons Quintiao. Black with it now, sends it low to Quas. Ratchie steps round, takes the shot, couldn't quite get it. Great save from Machner, and a second one there off the rebound. And ball off Victorian, so we're going to have WA ball coming back the other way now. Beal with it. Off to Panting now. He's got Aldred watching him. Devoy now with it.
WA taking a lot of time here to get some subs on with 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things where you just can't afford to be wasting that time because you're going to force yourself into risky shots. Got to get a shot off now. Shot clock violation again. And again, another shot after the clock. We're going to see another unsportsmanlike on that one from Hockey.
Wow. And so that's that game awareness that we're talking about that maybe WA is just not quite up to speed on.
Absolutely, and that's one of those rules that is the same as the field version. Once the whistle is gone, a shot after the whistle is an unsportsmanlike, just like a shot after the siren. Same deal on that one. As a goalie, I'm more than happy to see attackers whiff a shot after a whistle at me, as long as as long as it doesn't hurt me. I'm very sensitive like that. But again, that's twice now Victoria have had a power play because WA have taken a shot after the siren. So again, like we saw in the New South Wales SA game, just some game awareness things and some of those little areas which will start to add up as they keep playing through this game. Hall with it now. They've got meant to play up top. Looking to the bottom there for Ratchie, but that one was tipped away.
I think I've found the most Australian comment on our commentary here on the Messenger. Chris White watching from under a tree at my son's cricket in Perth.
Well, I mean, when I'm at the cricket, I look for anything I can do that's not watching cricket. So I a lot of respect for that. Ball's with Machner now, looking to clear up. Had to pass into traffic on that one again. We've got that 10-second clearing rule. Ball's up and above, and I reckon it's going Victoria's way. So does the umpire. And Garrett Moser has that one. Sends it up the line quickly, looking for Ratchie. Couldn't get a clean handle on it, but comes out with it now. Rolling across the top, the behind-the-back pass for Black couldn't go, and Machner has come up with it. We're looking to go back the other way. Brock Beale with the ball.
Beale's got some space here, looking to move on his own.
Shot to the backside there. Great save from the Victorian keeper. Bit of pressure coming from Caleb Hall, and both teams have their lineups out now. Ground ball there from Ratchie under pressure. Took it with ease, and Black has the ball now. Ball up top now, and I believe we're maybe 15 seconds from having WA go back to even strength. Ball across the back, looking for Ratchie, couldn't get it on. Black has it now, less than 10 on the shot clock. Hall to Quast. Quast couldn't get the handle on that one. Victorians maybe just rushing a little on this power play. I think they left it a little too late in the shot clock and then made a few risky passes as WA go back to even strength. Beale bringing it up again, sends it on to Wood. Hockey now, sends it across to Panting.
Tim, just quickly, traditionally in box, do you see a matchup defensive-wise where you think one guy would probably stick closer to the other? So say Stu Bentley would be on Peter Quast at this stage, and that'll be a matchup for most of the game?
It's a factor you can see. It's similar to the field game. You will sometimes see a stud defender go up against a team's top attacker, but a lot of the time it's less about matchups and more about matching up because the game is so movement-based. Sometimes with the pick-and-roll game, you have to switch and you have to be moving.
Absolutely. Big rip from the top there.
As Tyler Reynolds puts it away there. But, yeah, it can be hard to have that matchup held on. So sometimes teams might look for the matchup, but a lot of the time it's going to be more about covering everyone than covering any particular person. With that, the Victorians pull ahead 3-0 on the goal there from Reynolds. So we're seeing WA start 3 players on the defensive side here, unlike the field game where you can have less or more through the middle on power plays or penalties. We're seeing 3 defenders and only 1 attacker there. So they're obviously recognising the strength of the Victorian face-off unit with Aldred, McDonald, and especially Bell in there. All 3 very capable of coming out with the ball. WA a little bit underpowered on that face-off unit. So they're being wary of that, and they're getting ready for that quick Victorian attack with the 3 defenders back. Play inside there, knocked wide. But again, that was one of those more aggressive inside plays we needed to see from WA as Lucas Wood comes up with the ball there. Wasn't an over and back, obviously knocked away by a Victorian stick there. So WA able to keep the ball with a new shot clock on. Devoy sends it down to Panting. Panting steps around off the dome of Nathan Bell. Shot not on target. It's going to be WA ball. WA with the ball on the far side there. Devoy guarded by Nyberg. Ball's up top with Fleet. Onto Wood now. Wood guarded by Moser. Stepping across there, big save. And Victoria will be looking to clear again. Transition, a major factor in this game that you'll see a lot of. It's especially watching the Canadian game, you'll see players almost specifically out there just to bring the ball up court before subbing off again. So, great move inside there. Parsons Quintiau with just the deft touch. Takes it in, rolls opens up that angle a little bit and just drops it over the goalie's shoulder to that near side. So we'll see it again on the replay. The quick clear, Garrett Moser sends it up. Pass across, Quintiau gets there, rolls, shoulders, opens up a little bit, and takes that one as he's stepping down court. It was Lucas Parsons Quintiau. Or Lucas Parsons, I think he's listed as, number 8.
That gives us a score of 4 to Victoria.
4-0 so far, yes.
With 9 minutes remaining in the second.
Panting with it there. Ball was brought out of the centre there by Lachlan McDonald, but WA came out with it. Poor pass there. Bentley just rebounds it off Panting, but the over and back will be in play there. Coming up with it, Darren Ricketts looks to clear that out again. Hall with it. Meant to play now. Sweeping across the top. Black with it, steps down, looks for Quast, can't get it to go though. Ball's knocked loose, Quast gets it to himself, meant to play on the crease and puts it away. Quick turnaround there from the Victorians as we have just over 8 minutes left to play in the second. Great hustle there, Quast took the shot, couldn't get it, picked up by WA play, fights it back off the board, gets it to meant to play on the crease, and the finish there for the Victorians.
So Tim, their timeouts. I was just about to say, I think at this point of the stage, Western Australia need to call a timeout, resettle with 5-0 on the scoreboard. You don't just want to let it get too far away.
Absolutely, and it's WA haven't been out of the game. They've had a good amount of offensive possession. They've held their own relatively well in defence, and it's just been a few of those little errors that have led to Victorian goals. We've seen a few. We saw 2 power plays on shots after the siren. We've seen a few over and backs and a few other little things, and they're just adding up now as we get further into the game. So WA need to reset, refocus, not worry about the things that have already happened, and start looking at ways to correct those issues they've had in the first half so far. And making sure they can bounce back, because 5-0 isn't too much of a deficit in a game that sees so many shots. But if WA let it keep happening, it's going to keep building. So, got to see how they adapt to this now, and whether they can take a bit of steam out of the Victorians. Fleet and Bell in the centre now. Aaron Baptist comes up with the ball, sends it to Lucas Parsons. Ball in that near corner now with Ratchie. Hands off to Hall. Hall sweeping across, couldn't get it to go. WA with it now and looking to clear. Panting with it. Hockey now, onto Panting. Devoy sends it down. Simpson with it. Ratchie coming to pressure there. Back to Hockey. Simpson cutting through and ball just high of the goal on that shot there.
But good signs for Western Australia there. I think you're seeing a nice feed to the crease. It was an opportunity that's a little different from their outside shooting.
It was a good aggressive move. The look inside was there. The pass was taken well, and it was just high of the target from Nathan Simpson there. But again, signs are looking good so far. Black with it. Steps in, steps out, onto meant to play. Up top with Hall, sweeps around, looks for the shot, couldn't get it on. Ball still in play, shot clock not a factor, Beale with it. Up top now, on the clear, mishandled there. York just rushing things a little bit much maybe. And that's going to be Victorian ball as Fleet knocks it their way.
And again, that's where you're seeing just the polish on the West Australian side. That's a one-on-one opportunity that we need to see buried, that Victorians would traditionally put away all the South Australian finishers.
Absolutely. Ratchie now gets under his man, goes the Superman, dives across, can't get it to go. Shot clock reset by the shot. And Vic goalie comes up with the ball. Coming back now, Victoria again. Lucas Parsons with it. Dodges by his man, but Lucas Wood holds on there somehow, loses his footing almost, but still manages to keep a stick on the man. And WA up with the ball now. Wood
Tim,
with it
who's
again.
in goal for the Victorians?
I believe it's Jeremy Snyder for the Victorians, although there have been a few number changes. So what we saw on the program that we had initially doesn't appear to line up with some of the jersey numbers. So I believe it's Snyder, but it could be literally anyone, except maybe us. Jai Arambatsis with the ball now. Gets by one, looking aggressive on the fast break. Ricketts chasing it down now. Almost loses it, but does chase it down in the end. It's another factor you see is the lack of slickness on this court means that the ball is going to do all sorts of things when it's bouncing around. It does that less so in the field game, especially in the winter when it's a little bit rainy, maybe cold as well. Not so much in SA or WA, but you know, chasing down a loose ball in this can become a good game of chase. Machner comes up with it now. Up to Hockey and onto Panting. Just inside 5 minutes left in the first half now, and Hockey has the ball. Sends it across inside there to Fleet, couldn't get it on. Picked up though by Simpson. Across the top, save there by the VIC goalie, who could be Snyder. Picked up now by Aldred, who's looking to clear. Gets up top. Hall with the ball. Looking across crease there. Reynolds couldn't get the handle on it, and Machner back with the ball. Coming across now, Beale with it. He's got Parsons with him. Call there to settle things down a little bit. Vic had the numbers. Good smart move there by WA, not rushing anything. Devoy with it now. Sends it down to Simpson. Back up to Panting. Simpson, the step down, came off a field body, I believe, and the ball is up in the rafters somewhere. So it was off a blue defender there, so it's going to stay with WA. Shot deflected there. Ball up top with Panting. Onto Hockey now. Big check there. Wood still with it. Sends it up top. Simpson now onto Devoy. Panting with it. Looking to get to the top side. Gets by one with a bit of a shake. Gets by another. Back up to Simpson. Onto Panting. Low angle there. Pulls it out. Short time on the shot clock. Shot not reset. And it's going to be Vic ball. So that ball coming up with WA goalie Machner there means that Vic will get in the corner. If it had been picked up earlier, though, it would have been free play. So good bounce on that one. Well taken by the goalie. Reynolds with it. Ratchy there under pressure.
Great feed inside. Machner able to get a piece of it, but I think they're going to call in the crease there.
Crease is the call, but again, yeah, Machner equal to it.
But that creativity and that vision inside there from the Victorians is just polish.
Absolutely, and I think some of it as well is just the ambition there. They're being ambitious with their passes. WA were a little bit hesitant early on.
And here we go, WA on the board.
Not a factor there though, as Fleet sweeps across the front, makes it 5-1 there for WA.
Thanks, Travis Kroll on the messenger. It's Snyder.
It is Snyder. Excellent.
It is Snyder.
There we go. Ball there with Nyberg on the breakaway. Pass across. Black. Big wind up. Absolutely missed the goal. But the wind up looks spectacular. Panting with it now. Sends it up and over. Ball's with Wood as WA get it up into their attack line.
Just under 2 minutes to play now in the second.
Wood up to Panting. He's guarded by Ricketts. Overpowers him. But good save there by Snyder. Shot clock reset. Hockey with the ball. Looks to send it across. Simpson can't get the handle on it though. Chases it down himself. Wood with it now. Rolls inside, gets by one, gets by a second. Shot just wide though. It's going to be Victorian ball on that one. Untouched after the shot, which was off target, so it'll be the over and back call. And again, the ball doesn't have to come over and back again like in basketball. Once that ball's made it over, it's a fair game for Victoria. Black with the ball now. Sends it down low up top with Quass. He's got Parsons with him. A little Footscray connection there. Parsons across the top. Couldn't get the handle on it. Meant to play comes up with it. He's being hounded there by Simpson. Ball's knocked loose again. Big chase from Black. Couldn't get the handle on it. Muxlow came up with it.
Muxlow's found Fleet cutting across. Great save, Snyder there, coming across down to the bottom right.
Snyder huge on that one. Fleet nearly making him pay. Bell sends it up now. Ratchie with it now. Sends it down to Parsons. McDonald now. Cuts through, meant to play, looking for the shot. Mackner comes up with it. Rebound, though, taken by Ratchie. And again, just awkward for these goalies. I think Mackner, ball down between his legs. He went to rake it, and you just can't get that angle in close that you need. So if you watch it on the replay here, we'll see the first shot go. Meant to play, just couldn't get the handle on it, but the ball flicked back out there, and Ratchie was ready for that rebound. 14.5 seconds left. Time for a goal on a breakaway. Will we see one, though, or will it end 6-1 Victoria's way in the first half? Shot clock incorrect on that one. Hadn't been reset from the previous play. Not a factor in the game. Muxlow with the ball. Gets it up top. Panting has it. Step down. Ball bounces high and wide. And Victoria have it. Moser couldn't get a handle on it, though. And that will bring us to the end of the first half. We're going to cut away and have a break now. We'll be back with some highlights before the second half. And until then, stay tuned. All right, and we're back. Halftime scores at 6-1, Victoria leading. Before we get back into second half action, we're going to run you through some of the highlights from the first half. So first of the day there, Hall sends it wide, down low. Quast came up with the ball. And it was Dan meant to play naked on the crease there, waiting on that one. And again, just a bit of miscommunication early from the West Australian defenders. A bit later on, Hall with the ball in that near corner. Sends it across up top, meant to play there, sends it down low. And Peter Quast was able to find Black cutting to the crease there. That put it at 2-0, Victorians leading. Second quarter action, and it was Hall again with the handoff, sends it up top, and Tyler Reynolds put it away with a step down off the rebound. It was Garrett Moser there, sends it down, and that was the little Footscray connection there. We had Peter Quast finding Lucas Parsons cutting to the crease. Parsons, one of the few players we've seen so far who's changed hands at all. I think everyone else really embracing the box spirit. There was a turnover there caused by Peter Quast, and he found Dan Menterplay on the crease for the backside there. So great little ride, bit of a redefend there from Quast. Found his teammate open on the crease on the cutback. This was the lone WA goal we had. Beale brought it up, sent it on to Devoy. Simpson rolls inside, gets under his man, and just cutting across the front there. Just got that first step by his man, closed the gate, and managed to put it away. Final goal of the first half, and it was Dan Menterplay. An ambitious shot there, couldn't get it on target. But Machner, when he made that save, ball just popped back out in front of him. Ratchie swept across the front, grabbed it, and put it away. Just looking at goal scorers for the first half, and Dan Menterplay had 2 goals, and we had Tyler Reynolds, Brody Black, Lucas Parsons, and Tim Ratchie with 1 apiece. The lone goal scorer for WA was Simon Fleet, number 3, and WA had a few penalty issues. There were 2 shots after sirens and a few other calls that were getting them caught up. So we hope in the second half we'll see less of that, just a few less of those errors, and obviously with how hard it is to get quality competition for the indoor version of the game at times through the year and the lack of consistency that a lot of states have, it's important that we make sure these tournaments keep going and make sure we keep getting more and more teams involved, because throughout the weekend expect to see that WA team improve massively, and then going forward into future tournaments these players have that experience, they've got it if they're looking to try it for an Australian side, and they can keep bringing that back in with them. So good things to come, I'm sure, and the score at the moment again is 6-1, Victoria in control as both teams look to come back out onto the box with just over a minute left to go. I think a big one so far would be for WA in this second half, cutting out those errors will be a big factor, but then also really just making those ambitious plays inside. They were a little bit tentative in the first half. Sometimes they were just looking for too many outside shots, backing themselves to stick the dagger rather than making that extra play inside, putting in that extra work, and coming out with those inside scoring opportunities, which we saw a lot more from Victoria. Victoria's 6 goals, only 1 of them really outside. And the lone WA goal was a great one-on-one dodge. Fleet got under his man, sealed him off top side, and then stuck it in the back of the net. So if we can see more of that, expect to see WA getting a bit more into the game. And for the Victorians, a little bit of it has been some passing errors we've seen a bit of, and just maybe a little bit of overconfidence. I think on some of their plays, they just haven't been getting as much pressure as maybe they expected, and they've been taking things maybe a little bit lightly. So just a few of those little errors creeping in, and those are things you can't afford against an SA side that they may be getting away with today. So we'll see how they adjust to that, whether head coach Greg Mollison has told them to sharpen some things up, or whether it's business as usual for the Victorians. But either way, it's going to be plenty more exciting lacrosse in the second half here. Ryan, what are you excited to see in our second half action?
I think, well, trying to hide my West Australian bias, but I would like to see Western Australia settle in a little bit more and get more of those inside feeds. But on Victoria's front, you're going to see them settle in and get even better and better, and probably just move away the scoreboard a little bit more.
Absolutely, it'll be interesting.
Are you ready, boys? Let's
interesting
go.
to see which way it goes. There you go. You hear the head ref out there. feature we haven't been able to have in previous tournaments that I'm aware of at any time through the ALN, but having a mic'd up ref out there, giving you a bit of on-court feel. Good one as well for when rules are broken, having things explained to the players. You get to hear those live at home as well, so you get to know what's going on the court as well as from the sidelines here. There was a break on that face-off, so WA in possession now. Wood gets the ball from Devoy. Hockey with it. Driving down low, pulls it back out. Up top to Simpson. Less than 10 on the shot clock. Got to make a play here. Couldn't get that one to go. Ball picked up by Victoria, and it's Caleb Hall with it. He's got two players watching him, but Garrett Moser is free up in front. He hands off to Peter Quass. Quass on the near side now.
Lock him up, boys.
Ball across the top there. Black now gets it. It's driving across the BTB.
Oh,
and
that's dribbled in, I think. No. Managed to stop it on the line.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked from here good, but the umpire down there, it was at goal line, so he has the eye on that one.
Gareth Allen with a big laser pass up top trying to find Hockey, but unable to connect. Hockey intercepts though, and they're surrounded by 4 Victorians.
There's Machner maybe a little bit casual on that clear, but Hockey just being hounded there on the 4-on-1. WA players just a little bit slow to get back down the court for him. I think they just assumed the 4-on-1 would have it, but Hockey made a play out of it, went for that diving shot, just couldn't quite get it on. Hall with the ball now, sends it on to Ratchie. Ratchie, that little sneaky move underneath, gets the ball off to Hall, who couldn't get the shot there. Shot clock reset, and Beale looking to clear for WA. He's been chased by Reynolds.
Reynolds laying a great check there, but I think you can see the depth of the pocket there on Brock Beale as he runs past that. It's not coming out easily.
Absolutely, and that's another factor that for people used to the field game, pocket depth is it's a bit of a free-for-all in the box game, so players will have really adjusted those bottom strings out and will have a massive shopping bag in there if they can. Garrett Moser there on the breakaway after causing the turnover and sticks it past Machner. That's a tough one there. Good individual defensive play there by Moser, causes the turnover and then driving up court.
Bidwell Barton just getting a little out-muscled there. One of the younger players in the West Australian squad and also one of the players vying for a spot in the under-19s national team as a goalkeeper.
Well, there you go. And I think an interesting one that you just saw Bidwell Barton just on that back foot as he was had the defender approaching him. If he was on it in a more solid base, a more solid stance, may have been able to take the hit because he was already leaning back a bit. Moser came in, hit him pretty high up his chest, and just dislodged that ball with just one good physical hit. So just an awareness thing on that. And Bidwell Barton, he's got the extra padding on. He needs to just take that hit.
Muxlow's found himself in the middle of a Victorian sandwich there.
Muxlow's still with it somehow, although the pocket depth coming into play there. Ball was stuck in his stick as he was trying to flick it loose. It's going to be Victorian ball on the far side there. People watching at home as well, you may also note that Ben Muxlow has quite a long handle. It's longer than a short stick, maybe shorter than a traditional goalie stick, but he's got a bit of extra length on that one, which would be illegal in the field game, but very common to see Canadian players in their local leagues where you'll have maybe a 40-inch stick as opposed to the regular 30 inches that you see in for the shaft itself rather than the overall length. But a bit of extra length there. So
and that's
some
obviously
defenders like that.
Muxlow defender wanting to get into those lanes to try and pick off some shots.
As with all defenders, it's so you can hit people while doing less work, which is the dream. Couldn't get that one to go. Not sure what was going on in that one. It was just
Lucas Wood found himself buried.
Scrappiness everywhere. Absolutely.
Tune into the head ref here. West Australian ball.
That's goal ball. Offensive interference.
There we go. Offensive interference to call.
And that's absolutely fantastic coverage to have for the viewers at home to be able to tune in, hear the calls direct from the ref.
Absolutely. A lot of people in the off-season don't hear enough from referees, and they really miss that. We're bringing the referees to you wherever
in
you
your
are.
home, invading your space.
Or improving your cricket watching. think Panting there thought about the shovel shot, couldn't get it to go. Wood with the backhander, Hockey with the backhander, couldn't get it to go, but it's touched by a Victorian. No, it was not. It's going to be Victorian ball. McDonald chasing it down on the near side. Hall with it now. Sends it across. Reynolds there with the shot. Saved though by Machner. Off the WA body. So it's Victorian ball again. Reynolds with it. He's got Ratchie on the far side. Ratchie looks to sweep across the top of the double. Gets by one, gets by another, looks to feed inside to Reynolds, couldn't get it on. McDonald comes up with it. He's got players coming for him. Reynolds with it now, on to Quass. Quass to Hall. Ratchie now with it. Ratchie's been relatively quiet so far. He's had one goal, but bit of a sniper in the Victorian scene, and has been putting up some big numbers in the box comp there. Ball now with Fleet.
What you're seeing from Victoria, though, is that two-man game setting picks down the side, and they're sweeping up, receiving it, coming up, and then that middle lane's wide open. They're able to get off shots.
I think it's a big spacing thing, but also just familiarity, being more aware of that box game. But also a lot of these players who would have played on the field Victorian team this year have had a lot of experience working with Greg Mollison, who was the head coach of that side before head coaching this one as well. Nyberg with it, players on. There we go, the whistle there. Interesting pass from Nyberg, we'll call it. Couldn't quite get it to go, and WA will take that one back. York with the ball.
Muxlo's finding Ryan Hockey on the crease there, unable to finish that one. But again, still good creativity from the Western Australians, able to find that one there. Just need to finish.
Moser bringing it up, gets it across, absolutely. Loose ball there. Reynolds gets a handle on it. Has his stick taken out of his hands, though, by Stuart Bentley.
Goal ball.
It's going to be WA ball there. Beal with it. Fakes the handoff, looks to carry to himself. Lobbed pass there. Touched by Black on the way through, so just not quite the target he was hoping for. Ricketts against the board. Taken by Devoy in front there. Simpson couldn't get it to go. Snyder with the save. Wood there, big body from Hall. Ball's knocked loose.
3 opportunities, one-on-one there. West Australia need to capitalise on those.
Absolutely. Devoy comes up with the ball now. They've had a new shot clock on, so they've got over 20 seconds with it. Plenty of time to make a play. Devoy up to Panting now. On to Hockey. Wood with it.
Great diving
across the front, but again, Snyder is equal to it. He's come up with some absolute blinders so far this quarter. Shot clock siren not a factor there. Vic on the clear now.
I didn't see it, man. Sorry. I didn't.
Quaz with it. Quaz looking to back his man down. Gets by one, looks for the wraparound, can't get it to go, but that will reset the shot clock. Or should have reset the shot clock. WA ball there. A little bit of extra body against the board. Looking to clear up in front. Muxlow with it. He's got Quass coming for him.
Wow, Muxlow absolutely buried down there. I know you can't quite see. You can only see the sliver of it, but lots of contact.
Jeremy, let's be quiet, eh?
Slashes the call there against Peter Quass, I believe.
Quass not very happy with the call.
Yeah, you can't play him on the floor, Jeremy. That's a good call. It's a good call. I missed that, Kev. I missed that.
Good insight there into the referees and just communicating.
That's something I think a lot of field players don't realise. With 3 referees on the court, they all have slightly different jobs. Not all of them are just meant to be watching the ball and the play. So on that one, with 2 umpires watching what was happening with Muxlow, one of them saying, I didn't see it. And that's not, that they're doing the wrong thing. It's that they're all doing different jobs. We've got to have someone on the goal line, got to have someone in the midline, making things work. The rebound's there, taken by Wood, but a second save.
Wow, Snyder coming up big time here. And we've got Victoria with a breakaway.
high on that one there. So that was James McKenzie who took it up around the collarbone.
Looks like we're seeing Simon Fleet here ready to serve a penalty for a little high contact.
Yeah.
Up in front.
Called for the unsportsmanlike conduct there.
Yeah, so that's the high check on that one.
So Peter Quast still in the box, serving.
All even for now. Victoria will go man up at the end of Quast's penalty. Bit of time difference between them. 4-on-4, and again, even though it's even strength, just massive amounts of space out there if they can make the opportunity. Meant to play, looking to leap through the defence there. Luckily, he got caught by the goalie there, just making sure it didn't go too far.
Where's the ball?
Umpire asking a question many of us have asked ourselves at times.
Bring it away from the
Where's
ball.
the ball?
Give me the ball. You're good there.
There we go. Players on. Bentley with it now. Beale gets it. Bringing it up ahead. Few seconds left in the Victorian penalty, as far as I can hear on the far side of me. Hockey almost loses his footing. Manages to get the pass away though.
Well, you got to call it when you got protection, mate.
Backing away, step over, couldn't get the shot off target. Shot off on target. And it's going to be a shot clock violation against West Australia. Whistle on, Hall with it. Couldn't get it to go though.
We've got a timeout.
Timeout was called before the pass, so as Jarrett Moser picked the ball up there, timeout was called by head coach Greg Mollison. So penalty over for Victoria. Smart play on that one. As soon as the ball was picked up by Victoria, they got possession and they went man up. So timeout called, and we'll see a power play from the Navy Blues.
Apparently they've tried once or twice, so we need to keep an eye on them.
Sparky, what are your thoughts so far on this third quarter? Having talked about what we did at half time, what are your thoughts so far?
I think the fight is still definitely in there from the West Australians. You've seen them not finish those one-on-one opportunities that they need to at this level. But also the Victorians certainly haven't put their foot down. So we're just wondering how they're going to handle the rest of the game going in. Obviously both these teams have another game this afternoon. You know, whether Victoria are quite happy with their 7-1 lead and are going to just coast into the fourth quarter and let it be.
Absolutely, that's a big factor. We'll see WA take on New South Wales this afternoon, but we'll see Victoria take on their nemesis of last year, South Australia, who they beat in pool play before falling to in the final. But we'll see what happens there. We've had a goalie change for the Victorians, it would seem. Blake Watson jumping between the posts for the gentleman in the Navy, a youngster out of Footscray there. Hall now with it. Shot taken, couldn't get it to go by Machner. Ball's popped up in the air, taken there by Menterplay. Handy little touch there from him. Hand off to Hall. Hall looking to thread the needle, couldn't quite get it on. Ball's knocked wide, and it's going to be WA ball going the other way.
Tim, what are you expecting to see from especially the Victorian second half?
I think I would expect to see more of the same. I think they're not going to look to change too much. They're not going to look to, extend a big lead here that they don't need to. I think they'll be looking to keep sharpening a few things up and really use this next stretch of play, the rest of the second half, as a preparation for this afternoon's game. Getting themselves ready in the zone, ironing any kinks out that they have as Watson makes a save. But I think Victoria will be business as usual, and WA will be looking to get ready to build and see what they can do against New South Wales, which should be a great matchup, I think.
See another great feed and finish. Just that cut through the crease and that beautiful finish. That's what we're not seeing from Western Australia.
I think Western Australia's defence just not ready so much for that inside game. I think they're not quite on some of these that they need to be as much. They're giving the Victorians a little bit too much room. And again, passes that wouldn't be made in the field game are being made here every single play. You know, we're seeing ambitious passes, and you know, smaller targets are what people are aiming for in this. There's no waiting for a nice open pass in the box game. Bentley chasing that down. He's got Nyberg after him. Hall comes up with it. Aldred couldn't quite finish. Great save though. Shot clock reset. Shot was on target. Nyberg still trying to fight this one free. Bentley playing it forward. He's got Aldred coming for him. Ball's taken there. Back up to Bentley. Can he score? No. But he tried, and that's what we like. Hall with it now. Clock reset. Victorians will look to clear. Quas with the ball, brings it up and over for the Vics. Looking to settle things down again. Wide on for numbers, gets it to Black. Back to Quas. Hitches on his man, gets by and puts it away.
Unbelievable finish there.
On the play, we've just had Dan Menterplay go down holding his knee. He is looking like he's in a lot of pain. Victorian trainer heading out onto the court now.
Oh no.
I'm not sure. It looked like...
I think you can see Dan's ankle is not facing the right way, it looks like.
I'm not sure if someone stood him as he went there, as he went over, but it looks like a big twist as he's gone down. So
we're going to have an extended break here.
yeah, we'll cut away now, and we'll be back when play recommences. So back live with audio now. We might take you some highlights of the first half, but at the moment it appears Dan Menterplay's gone down. He's twisted his ankle, and it's not. It could be dislocation or a break, but it's not looking good at the moment. I believe an ambulance is on the way. He looks to be in all right shape despite the big fall and twist. He's got people out there on the court looking after him. But yeah, an extended break to play, and not what you want to see for one of Victoria's key players in the first game of the tournament there for the Navy Blues, and he's going to be in a world of hurt. So we'll cut away to some other highlights as both teams will be clearing out for now, heading to their locker rooms. Right there, and we'll see Peter Quas get that rebound in the near corner. Back up top, finds Menterplay on the crease, who put it away comfortably there. Next replay, and I think this was where Quas found Black cutting across here. So you see that pass down low, and Black just plenty of room. One defender goes low, one defender goes high, and then pops back up. Second quarter action, and it was Hall sending it down low to Parsons. Reynolds with the outside shot there, gets it away. That's what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about the inside versus outside finishing. That was the only outside shot we saw from the Victorians, really, that they've put away. Whereas, WA were really looking to try and capitalise on those inside plays. That one there was the sneak across the front as Parsons managed to put one away. Rebound here, and it was Peter Quast with the defensive effort he found meant to play on the crease for what was his second. It's a bit of transition here, and we see WA get it up, went down low to Fleet. He rolls under his man, steps top side, and drives to the near pipe to finish that one, giving WA their lone goal of that first half. Vic back with it. The shot there from meant to play wasn't on track to get by Machner, who made the save, but the ball trickled out the front. Ratchie ran across and put that one away. Was just replaying through those highlights now again as we wait for paramedics to arrive. And just bringing you some second half highlights now. This was WA in possession. Bidwell Barton just being bullied there by Moser on the breakaway there. Dips left, finishes right, and put the Vics on the board in the second half. Again, this one we had Hall carrying on the near side. He was looking back up into traffic, and that cut on that play there. Sorry, just missed that one. Ratchie driving through there, and it was that little give and go play. Vic's put it away. That one there, great little hitch from Peter Quast. Got by his man, snuck underneath and put it away, and that was the play where Dan went down. So we'll cut away to a holding screen again, and we will be back with you when play recommences. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. So just some updates from tournament headquarters. The score as it stands at the moment, 9-1, will be recorded as the official end score for the third quarter of play. Paramedics are currently with Dan, who seems to be being looked after well. He seems to be all right, in a lot of pain and, seeking care at the moment, but seems to be being dealt with well. The managers and the Victorian trainer are out there with him, as well as head coach Greg Mollison. The fourth quarter will be played. Both teams will be given a very quick warm-up, it sounds like, to get themselves back into it. And the fourth quarter will be played with a running clock. So it's going to be a faster quarter so as to not impede on the two games following on this afternoon. So we're currently waiting on that. What we're going to do is we're going to cut away now. We're going to end the stream. We're going to bring that back up, and we're going to update you through posts on our social media accounts to keep you guys in the know with what's happening, so we can get back with you on that one. So sorry everyone at home. We're obviously dealing with a bit of an adverse situation and something we couldn't have foreseen, but we'll be back with you with the fourth quarter, which will be running time, and the two games this evening should be being carried out as scheduled. All right, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with what will be the start of the fourth quarter now. We're
2-minute warm-up, 12-minute running clock.
all right, we're back with what will be the start of the fourth quarter. Sorry, just getting some confirmation there. We're going to have a 2-minute warm-up for both teams just to get some more run back in their legs after that extended break. And then we'll have a 12-minute running time fourth quarter. So it'll be an abbreviated fourth quarter to catch us up a little bit. Dan, meant to play, has been taken by paramedics. There were three of them here looking after him very quickly, so he's getting good care for any of you at home wondering. And he has been taken away now, so hopefully it's not as bad as it looked, but we will wait and hear, and when we hear, we'll let you in the lacrosse community know, just keep you all updated. Scores as we finished the third quarter, or what became the end of the third quarter, 9-1. So obviously a bit of a strange game now. Both teams short time in this fourth quarter, but just looking to finish the game all in one piece now. It looked like meant to play just a bit of an off-ball shove, nothing major when he went down. So it wasn't necessarily a big hit, but just an awkward fall for him. So hopefully he'll be all right soon, but it's looking like that will be his tournament done already, and hopefully nothing more like that going forward through the weekend.
To achieve in this fourth quarter.
I think now the fourth quarter for Western Australia needs to be like a prologue to their game tonight against New South Wales. I think this game is It's well, I don't like to call it too early, but the fat lady's warming up the vocals for singing a song. So I think we're gonna see what happens for them. But I think really now it's just a matter of refocusing, having a good fourth quarter, getting a bit of run in them, seeing what they can adjust to make work against the Victorians, so that when they play South Australia tomorrow, they sort of have a bit of that sort of the slightly higher performance box lacrosse that they need to be ready for that. But again, I think today, the rest of this game for them is just going to be a case of get ready for New South Wales, put your best foot forward in that game, and make sure that they can let their field lacrosse prowess be shown on the box court against the maybe the less experienced New South Wales lineup.
And for the Victorians, obviously missing Dan, who's an Australian representative and a very good player for them, they're going to have to try and fill the void there and also close out this game.
Absolutely, and I think it's a big thing, and it's also sometimes just the mental hurdle of that. As a team, you see a player go down, you think, right, he was having a great start to the tournament, and it's done like that, and that's some teams you can have a hard one with that. You see it a lot, obviously, in younger teams, but teams like this where it's a short turnaround, you see a key player go down early, and being able to bounce back from that and make sure that they stay in control of the rest of the game is going to be a big psychological factor for the Victorians. But again, really, you've got to get ready for South Australia. They're gonna come out to play tonight, and Victoria aren't going to have an easy run of it. They're going to need to find some answers for the gap that'll be left by men to play. Quas with the ball there after Victoria opened with possession in the fourth. Mishandled there. Plenty of time on the shot clock after it was reset by the first clock, but Wood plays that one down to Muxlow. Muxlow, no numbers on that one, decided to pull it back out. Back up top, Panting has the ball. Fleet down to Simpson there. Simpson guarded closely. Too many men on is the call there. It's going to be Victorian ball, I believe. Referee's just conferring there.
Are you putting someone in the box?
There we go. So that's the in-home player for WA will be sitting this one. Too many men on. And again, we talked about just those little errors adding up through the game. And another one just after that extended break. And it's a simple one to make. You've had a disrupted game. You get back out and there's probably some substitution worries going on. But again, making sure those things don't become an issue when they take on New South Wales is going to be big for WA. Ratchie sends it up to Black. We've got number 18, Tyler Reynolds, up top in the centre in that power play now, where meant to play had started in the first half.
No reset.
There we go. So the shot clock on that one was reset incorrectly. So that's been re-whistled. Umpires will have a quick chat there.
Sorry?
Have a word to Brendan.
The clock never reset, so it's still 30 seconds, it's still blue.
Yeah? No one called reset.
Reset down here, you did. Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay, alright.
One more!
Just
There we
hold
go.
a sec, guys.
So that was referees there. Reset had been called by one of the referees. The other two didn't hear that. So when the clock was reset, as it would have passed 30 already, they blew the whistle on that. So quick recap on that. And the referees are all good to go now. Victoria still with the ball and a new shot clock on. Black up top now where Reynolds had been. Pass there to Ratchie, absolute bullet of a pass. Back down now, couldn't get a handle on that second one though. Ball's with Hall, across the front, couldn't get it on target. Another reset on that one as it was touched by a WA player, so they're back in action, but now it's taken away.
Muxlow there with a pick mid-air. Good play there.
Absolutely. That long handle coming into play for Muxlow. Got Reynolds all over him. Levy with it now. And we're about to have WA go back to even strength. Ratchy there manhandles the player to the ground, gets the ball away, but he's chased down defensively. Ball's knocked wide, and Victoria back with it now. Ambitious pass into the middle, couldn't go.
Fantastic play by Ratchy before, they're just powering. Unable to finish that one-on-one though.
Hockey with it, gets it to Fleet. Fleet can't get it by Blake Watson, the youngster.
Tune in, the referee here for the call.
Hey guys,
Which side?
blues that side. We have 9 blue, unsportsmanlike, 2 minutes. We have gold, 2-7, unsportsmanlike, 2 minutes.
There you have it.
There we go. So that's a double penalty there.
A little behind the scenes play we mustn't have seen there, Tim.
So that was Muxlow there for WA.
Maybe Muxlow didn't like the treatment he was given during the clear.
Who knows? Yeah. Hockey with it on the near side now. Onto Panting. Devoy with it. Penalty clock hadn't been started there. Head ref just getting that back on. Save there by Garrett Moses somehow. Ball still loose. Both teams going for it. Shot clock on. Vic ball at the middle now. And just disrupting that pass. And Arachi with it now. Vic's with it. Reynolds steps around. Couldn't get it to go. Shot clock will reset after the shot on target. Looking for Panting. Couldn't get it to go.
It's an errant pass there.
Taken by James McKenzie. Ricketts now with it. Gets by his man. Up top to Hall. Hall sends it down low. Ratchy drives.
And that one snuck in.
Grab the clock, please. Is he all good on this side?
Huh?
Was he all good on this side? I couldn't see, I was obscured.
Did the ball go straight in or did it bounce around and go in? Because he was in the crease as soon as he'd let the ball go.
Yeah, hit the keeper's leg and then went in. So he was in the crease?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's go goal, guys! Goal ball!
Absolutely fantastic insight there into the problem solving. I think the Victorians would be quite upset, but if they had heard the referee's explanation, does make sense.
Absolutely, dialogue was there, and that's a big one. Is it has to pass the plane of the goal before it's in the back of the net. It's not an if it gets in eventually. After that ball goes, so good discussion there. Umpires working it out. One of them knew when it went in. One of them knew when Ratchy went in. They put the 2 and 2 together and came up with lacrosse.
There's a big hit, Simon Fleet, and here comes Caleb Hall for the reply.
Going that way.
So that'll be 2 minutes there for Fleet. Ball on the near side with the Victorians.
You can see that Caleb Hall is obviously an enforcer type player for the Victorians, but Simon Fleet wanting to stamp a little authority there, but that's one of those errors that you can't really make when you're this far down. You really just can't afford to give the Victorians a man up opportunity here.
Absolutely. I think playing regularly against Caleb Hall in the Victorian field competition,
Keep it on the front, right?
it's not going to phase him, that sort of play. I think against maybe a younger, inexperienced player, that might intimidate them. Caleb Hall's going to take stuff like that in his stride, so
Hey, language.
it's an interesting choice there, yeah. But we'll see the ball going back with Victoria now.
Oh, here we go. Look at this.
There we go. Play all good on that one.
Things just getting a little sloppy here coming into the fourth.
It was Peter Quass who has changed his gloves in the break we had. He's gone from the baby blues to the green and golds, and clearly his hands are just lightning fast now. It's really made an impact there.
Absolutely. Peter Quass. Quass is having a word with Mollison now, just talking about the finer details of his new gloves.
Absolutely. They've got that Footscray bond, so Greg's probably spent a lot of time explaining how gloves work to Peter, which one goes where. No. Come on now. None of that, Ryan.
A little bit of fun up in the box here.
Just under 3 minutes to go in the game. Machner there just had to have a quick adjust of pads. I think one had come loose, but we appear to be all good to go again, and we're going to have a face-off here. Nathan Bell in for the VICs against Fleet from WA. Great ground ball there. The one-handed pickup by Garrett Moser. Just scooped his way out of traffic. Ball back with Quass now. The man with the golden gloves. Across the front, looking for the quick stick. Couldn't get it to go, but the body is called illegal. That was Tyler Reynolds there. McDonald now with it on the near side. Looking inside, couldn't get that one to go, and it's picked up by Lucas Wood. He goes into Hall. Hall almost loses his feet, but somehow manages to stay moving. Wow. And Braden panting. Great finish on that one.
I think you saw Braden just sort of pump fake a little bit, just pushing the goalkeeper off his line and then taking that opportunity to bury it low.
And just the finesse there on that move from Panting. You'll see as he's turning, you see Caleb Hall get the bump there, but he turns, and that hitch is almost part of that turn. He's using that as a wind-up, and it means it cuts a little bit of that time off. If he had have turned, made the fake, and then brought it back, that gives the goalie time to react. That quick move there was just a great, smart heads-up play there to put that in the back of the net for the WA side. Just under 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the game on the official clock. So again, the clock on your screen is just an indication, and at the moment it's indicating something else. Wood with the ball now. Passes off to Devoy. This is good. This is really what we wanted to see from WA. They've taken that break and they've refocused a bit, and they've just played a bit of gritty lacrosse so far in this fourth period. And that's what they're going to need against New South Wales. Obviously, the physical...
Oh, and that one snuck in. Simon Flea with a big worm burner.
Bit of a trial by fire here for Blake Watson, the youngster. The youngster from Footscray there getting beaten 5-hole by Simon Fleet, who had just come out of the box again. And a bit of a tough one there. Blake Watson was in for about 3 minutes, I think, and then in for just a brief play before he went off again for a long break. Muxlow across the front to Wood. Wood, the shot, but it's saved by Watson. Lobbing the ball up the far end is Tim Ratchie, but it bounces out of bounds and then back in.
12 seconds left on the play here.
10 seconds left with a running clock. It's short time. WA can score one if they move it straight away. Victoria just delaying enough. Panting with it. Wood gets it, thinks about the shot, and decides against it. So at the end of play now, 10-3 is the final score. So with that shortened fourth quarter, it's not obviously indicative of the rest of the game, but a great little bounce back from WA. It was 9-1 going into that fourth period, the 12-minute running clock period, and it was 2-1 that last quarter of play for WA. So that's a good sign there. They bounced back from that break. And hopefully for them, it'll be a great game against New South Wales this evening. For the Victorians, again, it's a quick regroup, and they take on the defending champs, South Australia, tonight. So no rest for the wicked, and both of these teams are going to be looking to make an impact in tonight's games, which should be two of the premier matchups of the weekend. Just final stats there, and just some goal scorers. We had Peter Quass finishing with 2, Tim Ratchie finishing with 2, and Dan Menterplay finishing with 2. And again, we will update you as soon as we know what's happening with Dan. Single goals for Lucas Parsons, Brody Black, Tyler Reynolds, and Garrett Moser. for WA. Simon Fleet had 2 and Braden Panting had 1. And again, few penalties on the tally there for WA, but a lot of those were, plays where it was a shot after a siren or too many men on the field, and little plays like that were issues like that, which are an easy thing to iron out of their game. So hopefully we see less of that going forward. But again, great performance from both of these teams. Bit of a stop in play that we had for an incident that we wouldn't have liked to see, but again, hopefully this evening games will be good, and we'll be back with you for those games tonight. Until then, thank you very much for tuning into the ALN.